information on what I think is a very, very important topic to have a discussion in and around. I am a senior business development manager for Cornerstone Staffing. Cornerstone Staffing, we are a full service staffing solution company. We specialize in unique staffing, designing unique staffing models for our clients, from short term to long term to direct hire. We have a large volume of employees for projects or critical professional hire, dedicated staff. Our consultants combine deep-seated knowledge of staffing industry best practices, and we adhere to and uphold the American Staffing Association Code of Ethics while striving for success. So what is leadership is where we're going to start. Then we'll go through raising the bar. B.A.R is an acronym, B.A.R, B.A.R, beliefs, action, and results. And then, what can we do next as leaders? A little bit about myself, as I mentioned earlier. I am the senior business development manager for Cornerstone Staffing. I've been in business development in and around and doing business development for almost 17 years, been in the staffing industry specifically for about 12 years doing staffing, consulting, and building. I train and I educate, and I'm passionate about getting people passionate and excited about things they can't even see. So what is leadership? Leadership is the action of leading a group of people or an organization. Leadership is the state or position of being a leader. It's guidance, it's lead, it's direction, it's management, and it's command. By the way, this is being broadcasted on YouTube. On Facebook. It's going to later be on YouTube, and then I'm going to share portions of it on LinkedIn, so you'll be able to get this content. And if you like the presentation, listen, shoot me a message, direct message me, email me. I'll make sure that you get a PDF copy of this presentation. Leadership is the process of social influence, which maximize the efforts of others towards the achievement of goals. Notice the key element is this definition. Leadership stems from social influence. That's why John Maxwell said that if you're a leader and you're leading an organization and no one is following you, John Maxwell says you're just going for a walk. So leadership requires others, and that implies that they don't need to be direct reports. In other words, it's influence. Leadership is influence. You can lead from the back, you can lead from the middle, and obviously you can lead from the front, but leadership is influence. Now, just a quick example between the difference between a leader and a manager. Effective leadership is centered on a vision to guide change, whereas managers set out to achieve organizational goals through implementing of processes such as budgeting, organizational structure. Leaders are more intent on thinking ahead, capitalizing on opportunities. Great leaders create a vision. Manager create goals. You see the difference? Leaders create vision, managers create goals. Now, leaders can manage, but the primary duty and responsibility of a leader is to create vision for the organization, whether it's a single organization, whether it's a family. Listen, you are leading. You've raised your hand. You stepped into the leadership position. Now, I don't have time to get into the conversation today because this is going to be over and done in about 15 minutes. But understand this, that I personally believe that you are not born a leader, but you can become a leader. Now, I understand that there's a science behind the acumen, the physical characteristics of a leader. I get that, right? There are physical characteristics and attributes of a leader that you're innately born with, right? Like, for example, I'm 6'1", about 205 pounds, have broad shoulders. So characteristically, physical attributes, a square jaw, right? All of that would lead to me being what some call born to be a leader. But I believe that you can develop to be a leader regardless of your age, your race, or your gender. Everyone can become or can learn how to become a leader. So how do we raise the bar in our leadership? The B stands for belief. You first define what is it that you believe. What are your core beliefs? Because your core belief, friend, are statements of your values. Your beliefs are a public and a visible declaration of your expected outcome. Your belief must be positive and inspiring, and your beliefs are the anchor to your organization. Reading a book by James Clear. It's called Atomic Habits, right? And it's a really good book on establishing habits and changing habits. And he makes a statement in the book. He said that our every single action is a vote for the person that you want to become. So we start by what we believe, and then we act on what we believe. Every action is a vote for the person that you want to become. So with that in mind, we need to take action. This is the lay. This is the A, and raising the bar in leadership. B stands for belief. The A stands for we got to take action. Action is a manner or style of doing something, typically the way in which a mechanism works or a person moves, right? That's action. Because the way that we do anything is the way that we do everything. The way that we do anything is the way that we do everything. The way that I handle my money, chances are, will be the way that I handle my organization. And the way that I handle my organization, chances are, is the way that I handle interacting with my employees, my staff, etc. You understand what I'm saying? Or my family, right? You don't have to necessarily be in an organization to be a leader. You can be a leader of a family. You can have social influence in your family and family members. But the way that you do anything is the way that you do everything. So that requires you and I, friend, to take a look at the way that we are doing things. And then you got to do what I refer to as the TOT, the time on task. Consistency is the breakfast of champions. Consistency is the breakfast of champions. So you have to be consistent about acting in a way that votes for the person that you want to become. I hope this is making sense. And when's the best time to plant an oak tree? 25 years ago. When's the next best time? Today. What are you saying? Take responsibility, take action, and let's go. Finally, in raising the bar in leadership, B is for beliefs, A is for action, the R stands for results. Results is a consequence. It's an effect. It's an outcome of something. You can do nothing or you can do something, but in the end, you're still accomplishing something. You could do nothing or do something, but in the end, friend, you're still accomplishing something. There is always a harvest, whether I act or don't act. There's always a harvest, whether I do right or do wrong. There's always a harvest. And so when I understand consequences and I understand results, and that means that I'm seeing the end at the beginning, that helps make my decision. I'm seeing the end at the beginning, that helps make my decision. See, I go to the end of my decision. I look at the consequence. I look at the results and say, are those the consequences? Is that the result that I desire? If the answer is no, then I got to take a look at the actions that leads to it. We don't get what we want in life. We don't get what we want in life, friend. We get what we deserve, or we get what we expect. I was doing a training last year, and I was in a group, an audience of 100 people or so, and I said, hey, raise your hand if you want to win the lottery. And at that time, I think the lottery was somewhere around $300 million. Hey, how many of you would like to win the lottery? Almost 100%, 100% participation. Every hand went up. Then I asked the following question. How many of you went out and purchased a ticket? About 2 or 3 hands went up. So even though 100% people said, yes, I would like to win the lottery, only 2 or 3 people went out and purchased a lottery ticket. What did that tell me? That tell me that even though people wanted to win, they didn't really expect to win because they didn't participate. When you have an expectation, it's going to require participation. Expectation requires participation. So consequences, you don't get what you want, but you get what you expect. And if I expect different consequences, I'm going to look at my actions, and then I'm going to read my actions, and I'm going to look at my action as it relates to what I believe. Are they similar? So what are some things that I can do to take my leadership ability to the next level? So understand it's the way that we think. The way that we think will help impact our leadership. You got to understand programming as it relates to thinking and feeling and action and results. Programming is the on purpose choosing one thought over another. Programming Programming is the on purpose choosing one thought over another. Thinking now is the consistent action of choosing to think repeatedly on that thought. Programming, purposefully choosing one thought over another. Thinking now is taking that thought and manifesting and going over and meditating on it over and over again. See, I found out that the reason why people lack results is not because of information, it's because of consistent action. Now, you can act on that information, but if your intent and your heart is to do what's right, then you are going to navigate, you're going to gravitate, you're going to find yourself in an environment for the right type of information. But you have to wire your mind for this next level. You have to talk to yourself in a manner in which that produces the leadership characteristic that you desire. Why on earth would I think a thought, choose a thought that's contrary to the person that I want to become? Remember James Clear said in his book, Atomic Habits? It is a vote for the person that we want to become. And I firmly believe, friend, that our income and our outcome is greatly determined by by the person that we choose to become. So I appreciate your time, friend. I hope that you found value in this presentation. Again, I'm Rich Wall Street Williams, and it is always my desire to present information that's going to impact and help elevate, take your life to the next level. So, friend, I'll see you at the top because the bottom is just too crowded. Now, I never look down on anyone unless I'm looking down to give a hand up. I'll see you at the top. Let's go.